Hi friends, we are moving into class 8 of module 4 and in this class we are going to discuss about automatic voltage control. I would like to make you remind about the first class of module 4 in which we studied that the active power and reactive power of the system should be controlled according to the change in the load demand. The active power is being controlled by controlling the input to the system and the reactive power is controlled by controlling the excitation voltage. Otherwise, what happens is if the active power is not controlled properly, then the frequency will be going out of its permissible limit. Similarly, if the reactive power is not being controlled properly, then the voltage will be going out of its permissible value. So, the first part we completed in the previous classes, that is the frequency control. The first part, frequency control, was studied in two ways. That is, one is by single area case, control area case, and the second one was two area load frequency control case. So, in this portion we are going to study about how to the second part, that is the voltage control, the automatic voltage control we are going to study in this class. So, you can see the schematic diagram here. The schematic diagram of this automatic voltage control is shown in the figure. Okay, so we will be going further into it. The main component of the system is the generator. The voltage of the generator is being controlled. Okay, and this is mainly done with the help of an exciter, this main exciter. This main exciter is the device which controls the voltage of the system and regulates it. Okay, so we are moving further into the description of this one. It basically consists of a main exciter which excites the alternator field to control the output voltage. Now, this exciter field is automatically controlled through an error signal, and the error is E is equal to V reference minus Vt. Okay, and it is properly amplified with the help of different amplifiers that we will be studying further. Okay, so here you can see this is the error signal which is coming. This is the error signal E, and it is created by taking the error of a reference and the terminal voltage actually. The terminal voltage through a potential transformer. The terminal voltage is taken and these two creates the error signal, that is V reference value minus Vt. Okay. So, this is, and it is properly amplified and then it is reaching the exciter field, and then it is being, it controls the output voltage of the alternator. So, this is the system. Now, it is a type 0 system which requires a constant error for the specified voltage at the generator terminal. So, for maintaining a specified voltage at the generator terminal, a constant error E is to be produced. Now, we are going into further into the different components and the transfer function of each of them, so that we can completely make a block diagram representation for the system. So, let us go into the first component, that is the potential transformer. So, you can see the potential transformer inside the block diagram. This is the potential transformer. It gives a sample of the output voltage, the voltage at the terminal of the generator, or we can say the load voltage. So, it gives a sample of the terminal voltage of the generator and it is represented as Vt. So, that is a potential transformer. Now, second device is the differencing device, and the differencing device you can see here. It is the device which produces the actuating error E, and it is given as V reference minus Vt. And this error signal initiates the corrective action to adjust the alternator excitation. It is the main reason for creating the change in the exciter field. Now, the carrier signal is actually 50 Hz, so it should be properly modulated. It is suppressed carrier modulated. The error signal is suppressed carrier modulated. So, the next one is, third component is the error amplifier. So, the error amplifier, what is the peculiarity of an error amplifier? It is actually demodulating this error signal and amplifying it. It is demodulating the amplifier and it is demodulating the error signal and it amplifies the error signal, and the gain of the system is Ka. So, we can use this Ka as a block for representing the transfer function, and this one can be used for making a complete block diagram. Let's move on to the fourth one, that is SCR power amplifier and exciter field. So we can go through the SCR power amplifier and the exciter field together. Okay, this SCR power amplifier, it provides a necessary power amplification to the signal for controlling the exciter field. Okay, one more peculiarity is, so this is a power amplifier which will be providing a necessary amplification. And one more peculiarity is that the time constant of the power amplifier is very small when we are comparing with the time constant of the exciter field. So what happens is we can neglect the time constant of the SCR power amplifier. So the remaining term will be only there inside the transfer function, and the transfer function becomes Ke, and the transfer function becomes Ke divided by 1 plus TEF into S, where TEF is the exciter field time constant. Okay, so the next we are moving into the fifth one, that is alternator. Its field is excited by the main exciter voltage VE. The alternator, it is actually being excited with the help of a main exciter, that is, and the voltage across that exciter is VE. The voltage across this one is VE. Okay, now at no load, we can say that at no load, it produces a voltage which is proportional to the field current. So during the no load, the voltage being created at VE is proportional to the current which is going through the exciter. Okay, but, and we'll be going further into it. So at the no load condition, can we write the transfer function as Kg divided by 1 plus Tgf into S, where Tgf is the generator field time constant. Okay, this is during the no load condition. But if there is a load change causes a voltage drop, and this one is actually a complex function of the direct and the quadrature axis currents. We are not going further into what is that complex function. It is not, in our study we don't need that complex function. So just we are going to schematically represent that effect with the help of a block called GL. So this block will be showing whatever be the function inside, it shows it can be done with the, if there is a load change, we can use the block GL. Let's move on to the next one, that is a stabilizing transformer. TEF and TGF are large enough time constants to damage the system dynamic response. So stabilizing transformer, what is the need for stabilizing transformer, that we are going to say TEF, that is the exciter field time constant, and the generator field time constant, both are very large. So what happens is it will be impairing the system dynamic response. So this can be improved. The dynamic response can be improved if we are having a internal derivative feedback loop. Okay, so internal derivative feedback loop in the system, it is provided by means of a stabilizing transformer. So we are using a stabilizing transformer to make a derivative feedback loop so as to improve the dynamic response. Okay, and the stabilizing transformer is actually excited by the voltage VE itself. So here you can see inside the block diagram, you can see that there is a stabilizing transformer and it is actually being fed from the exciter voltage itself, that is VE. Okay, and that is a derivative feedback loop. Okay, now it is to improve the dynamic response of the system. Now the transfer function of the stabilizing system we are going to derive. Now the secondary of the stabilizing transformer is connected to the amplifier, and we are assuming that the amplifier will not be. So we can say that the amplifier cannot draw any, it is not drawing any current. So zero current is being drawn by the amplifier. Now let us write two equations for deriving the transfer function of the stabilizing transformer. We are going to write two equations. Let's go through that block diagram and write the two equations, VE and VST. Okay, what is VE? VE is the voltage which is appearing across the exciter, and this voltage, how can we write the expression for this voltage? You can see that the current through the system is actually IST. It is IST, that is the current flowing through this way. Okay, now can we write an equation for VE? Just KVL itself. What is the equation? we can say VE is equal to R1, let the resistance of the system is R1 and this one is, the inductance is L1. So R1 into IST plus L1 into d by dt of IST. Okay. Similarly, how can we represent the equation for VST? Second equation is VST. The equation for the stabilizing transformer VST, can we write it as M into dist divided by dt. Why? Because it is mutually induced EMF. The current through this one is IST. The voltage across this one will be M into dist divided by dt. Now taking the Laplace transform of this one, what will be the equation? V of S is equal to R1 into IST of S plus S into L1 into IST of S. Similarly, when we are taking the Laplace transform of VST of S, will be equal to M into S into IST of S. Okay. So this further we can derive here. The equation, these are the two equations. Taking the Laplace transform and divide both that equations, VST of S divided by VE of S. You can see that you will be obtaining the equation like this. Now from this, the denominator, inside the denominator R1 can be taken outside and the remaining terms will be R1 is taken outside, 1 plus S L1 by R1. And that the R1 which is taken from the denominator can be taken to the numerator and it becomes M divided by R1. Now the transfer function is becoming as S into KST divided by 1 plus TST into S, where KST is M divided by R1, okay, and TST is L1 divided by R1, okay. So that is the transfer function. Now the complete block diagram can be drawn, okay. So now we obtained different block diagrams for each of the system, each of the component. We already derived the transfer function. Now we are combining all those things to make the block diagram of the whole alternator. So here you can see this is the differencing device, reference voltage and VT. Okay. Then next comes the error amplifier, which is represented by a gain Ka. Okay. Then comes the stabilizing transformer. There is a derivative loop here. You can see the derivative loop and the gain of that, the transfer function of the stabilizing transformer is represented here. This shows the transfer function of the SCR power amplifier and the exciter field. Okay. Then this becomes the alternator field, generator field. Okay. And if there is any load change, then we have to represent it using a block called GL and it is introduced here. So together it becomes the terminal voltage VT of S. So this is the complete block diagram of the alternator voltage regulator scheme. And this is how the automatic voltage control is being done. Hope you understood everything. Study well. Stay tuned.